Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Tawana Rivers. This is the 10K Project. And tonight's Bet on Black Pitch founder is Anthony Edwards from the company EatOkra. And so I'm sure many of you have heard about this company. I heard about Anthony last year when he was doing, actually it's been 2 years, I think, or a year and a half when he did a rewards campaign. I was super excited about the campaign. So to see all of the progress that this company has made and that now they're raising an equity crowdfunding round. This is super exciting, especially for us as a community, because we get to see the evolution of progress from a Black founder. And so Anthony will talk to us a little bit about that. But when I tell you guys, you are in for a treat. The EatOkra team has been busy. When I tell you busy, they've been busy. They've been building. And so he's going to share all of that with us this evening. Talisha, if you can go ahead and share the campaign page with us, that would be great. Thank you so very much, my dear. As you guys can see, this campaign's on WeFunder. We're going to be putting, as usual, the campaign link in the chat throughout the evening. So Anthony, you don't have to worry about that. So we are part of the family and friends round. I get so excited when we're part of the family and friends round because founders have to raise a certain amount of money before their campaign goes live, and they open that up to their personal network, their personal family and friends network. And so I believe that it's an honor for us to be a part of this phase of the round because it really shows our commitment to the Black founders and really helps them get to the next level of their campaign and their capital raise. And so on this particular campaign, it launches to the public in 9 days. The minimum investment is $250. It is a future equity term. And so that's that safe note that we've talked about in the past, right? So the simple agreement for future equity is what that stands for. There's also an early bird bonus there as well, which is really, really cool. I always like when you can get in at better terms, right? If you're going to invest anyway, why not invest early enough that you can get the better investment terms, right? And so if you go over to the left-hand side of the page and just scroll, I'll say it again. I know you guys who come every week get tired of me saying it, but there's always somebody new in the community. Please look through the entire campaign page. Founders put a lot of time and energy and adding all of this information here because they know these are the things you need to know to be able to remove the barriers of entry and answer all of the questions that you have. And so please, as we're scrolling through, this is what we want you to do after the call is to be able to look through all of this information, any legal documents, read them thoroughly and do your due diligence so that you can make an informed decision. Okay. And so you see all of this great information, a lot of updated information too, where you can see some partnership information, but I'm not going to give it all away because I know Anthony's going to go over all of that. Like this is the progress of what you can see that they've done over the course of these last few years. So with that said, we are going to stop sharing. And Anthony, I am going to turn it over to you to tell us everything you believe we need to know about EatOkra.
All right, I'm ready to spill my guts this evening.
Let's do it.
First I want to say thank you to everybody for taking time out of your day, your evening, away from your families and activities to learn a bit about me and my wife as we have navigated building EatOkra since 2016. So again, this means a lot, and I really appreciate all of your attention to this presentation this evening. So I am going to share my screen, my presentation. Okay, so if I go to share screen, no, it's not what I want to do. Sorry, I'm just.
That's okay. Take your time. They dealt with me and some tech issues before you came on, so they're fine. It's one of those tech evenings.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to leave webinar. I just want to start over. How do I start over, Anthony? And I'm a tech guy, and this is throwing me.
I don't feel so bad then, because I'm not a tech girl.
All right, here we go. Let me go in presentation mode. Gas station. Okay. Okay, so now I can, it's a dance when you want to present. Okay.
There we go. We're all good.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry, just 1 second. Missing one screen. Sorry, my notes just disappeared on me. I've been practicing this pitch, and suddenly when I do it live, like clockwork, doesn't work. Let's see. Where'd it go? Let's close this again. Sorry, come in.
That's okay, Anthony. Take your time. We are here for you, sir. You take your time. This is all about you.
All right.
And this is a safe space for you, so it's all good.
Okay, I really appreciate that. This is really. You can still see my screen, okay?
No,
Oh, so you don't see my screen anymore?
nope.
Okay.
Okay, we can see it again now.
Can see it. But I have lost.
You lost those notes because the universe wanted you to just tell us what you know about your baby and not be confined by those notes.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's what that was about. You know this, you know you don't need them notes. You built it.
I guess that's what we got to do today. All right, well, I guess we're just gonna freestyle this thing.
Do it.
All right, everyone. Hi, my name is Anthony Edwards Jr., and I'm the co-founder and CEO of EatOkra. My wife and I started EatOkra back in 2016 as we moved to Brooklyn, which is a new city for us. I'm from upstate New York, and my wife is from the Bronx. So people that travel from the Bronx to Brooklyn, it's not really a thing. So she suggested to me, why don't you build an app for us to find and support some Black-owned businesses right here in Brooklyn. And I took that as a challenge, coming out of the Army of 9 years, active duty, spending time in the Air Force, and active Army, and then going to school at Fordham University. I wanted to use the skill set I've had to really start my own business at some point, but I really was was deep into tech and in that space, and that's what I got my degree in. So she was like, why don't you build an app? And really that's kind of like what planted that seed in me to start really doing that work, having, coming out of college theory and then going to a boot camp, coding boot camp, and then getting my first job where I would stay for 7 years, growing from a junior developer all the way to a senior level engineer. And so it took us I'd say about 7 months to get an MVP off the ground, where and then about 300 people started downloading the app in the very first year. So that's kind of showed us that there was a need for EatOkra, but I'll get to the broader story as we continue through the presentation. But lastly, I want to just talk about the name. Where does the name come from? So okra is a seed that was brought over during the slave trade. It's settled in the South, and it's commonly cooked in soups, stews, gumbos. It's used to really thicken the gravy and combine ingredients, join, right? It's linking things. And that's kind of how EatOkra is building in the community and galvanizing our people, right? So EatOkra is connecting people through Black food. All right. So supporting Black-owned businesses is very unrepresented out there, period. Consumers have demonstrated an increased interest in Black-owned restaurants. Over 2,500% on Yelp reported increased searches for Black-owned restaurants since 2020. Huge. 60% of consumers prioritize spending for Black-owned restaurants. By that point in 2020, EatOkra had been maturing for about 4 years. We've at that point had about 40,000 people download EatOkra across the United States, primarily in major hubs of cities, Atlanta, DC, New York, Chicago, LA, and Houston. And we had already had an app that was primed and ready for people to support Black-owned restaurants, especially at that time, which became COVID, and more importantly, George Floyd. In June of 2020, we saw 150,000 people download EatOkra in a single month. So EatOkra is a discovery and online ordering platform connecting people to Black food businesses. I'll just give you a big demo, but what EatOkra is, we've been a directory primarily since its infancy. We've been connecting people to Black-owned restaurants, connecting them to caterers and chefs, meal prep companies, food trucks, pretty much anything in the food and beverage space is where we like to live. I just want to take you on a quick demo of what we've been building over the last 10 months, and I'll speak a little bit more to this point in a minute. So this is a quick 1-minute video. So this is our online ordering feature where you'll be able to select menu items from your favorite restaurants here and soon across the United States. So you can do all your comment searches, you can add notes, you can filter through categories, you can check your cart, update your cart if you need to. Check out. You can do things like add offers and promotions. We send you a text message. Then we also allow you to use Apple Pay or any other wallet, credit cards you want to add to. And this is our public beta right now. And you can check out Apple Pay for easy, quick checkout. So the Black-owned food restaurant delivery market is enormous. We are taking on a $65 billion industry, and we are primed to take our piece of it. EatOkra has there's about 60,000 restaurants that are Black-owned, and EatOkra already has about 30,000 of those restaurants on our platform currently. So we are primed to build our online ordering delivery solution that we've already just demonstrated that we have, and we are ready to take what we have, put out in the world for people to start buying and spending with Black-owned restaurants. Our team is an excellent team. Everybody in our team loves food. They love what they do. They're all experts. Some of them is celebrity chef JJ, Colin Wallace, who is an exit to Thanks and Grubhub. Grubhub bought his company out years ago, as and some considered him to be the father of delivery. Also, we have Andre, who comes from Uber Eats, and he's our head of sales. Jeff Belzier comes from Google and other T-Mobile. Hector, our creative director, comes from Walmart and really understands building for commerce. So we've been able to achieve over 500,000 app installs without any advertising spend. Our support is truly driven by our community, and the proof is in the pudding. And yeah, so 500,000 app installs people we have achieved, and we are super excited to achieve actual revenue spend on marketing so that we can really get our numbers in the next year to about 1.5 million downloads. So with that, we partner with the biggest brands on earth. Right now, we have current relationships and partners with Pepsi. We partner with Apple. We partner with Uber Eats. With Pepsi, we are a 5-year partnership with them where we work alongside key campaign moments, about 4 a year. And that all the work we do drives eyeballs and puts butts in the seats essentially at Black-owned restaurants. With Apple, we are Curator. If you open your Apple Map app, if you have an iPhone, shame if you have an Android, but if you have an iPhone, open your phone and type in EatOkra, and you'll see a list of about 25 to 30 different guides that we produce. And we are amongst the top guide creators that are out there, especially in the food space. We're about number 3. And then of all guides, cohorts, we are in the top 10. With Uber Eats, we work with Uber Eats to, we've actually had 2 different kind of relationship with Uber. And originally, we started doing campaign work during COVID to make sure that restaurants could survive. So we worked with them to identify restaurants to build spaces outside that were heated, where people could safely dine without being home and then without being in the restaurant. So that happened in New York City, in Harlem, with about, I believe it was about 7 restaurants in Harlem. So excellent, amazing campaign. We also work with Uber and recently announced our accelerator program, where we will be training and tooling up restaurateurs to make sure that they're as strong at the back of the house as they are in the front of the house. So we provide mentorship, coaching, and through our partnerships, we'll give out grants and additional resources and coaching and another level of access to the things and tools that they've already built or have established. So we're establishing a pipeline and a community to make sure that everybody grows in a very safe and healthy way, and they're able to expand and offer more jobs to people as well. Support for EatOkra has been amazing. We've got about 1,500 customer reviews with a 4.7 average rating. It probably would be higher, but we do get a lot of trolls that give us 1-star reviews for the virtue of being an app that supports Black-owned businesses. So if you don't do anything tonight, give us a good review so we can fix that, fix our rating. But people love using EatOkra. They've used it in so many different ways. They travel using EatOkra. So a mother and daughter wrote us and said she's traveling to a new city, Oakland, in fact, with their daughter, and they're going to use EatOkra to plan their entire weekend. One guy told me at I think it was a Best Buy, that he used EatOkra to lose 40 pounds during COVID. Restaurant owners have said people have come in the app specifically because they've learned about them through EatOkra, period. And we've gotten that many times. One guy in Atlanta said, I felt like EatOkra is what kept our business alive during COVID. So that's very heartwarming and really keeps us motivated to continue to do this work, because it is a lot of work to take to get there. And this isn't an overnight success. Been building this thing since 2016. So how do we make our money? So with our online ordering solution, primarily our money has come from our brand partnerships. Approximately 2.5 million of our $1 million we've earned in the last 2 years have come from brand partnerships. We understand that will continue, but we don't want to hedge that's just gonna scale and get us to be a unicorn company. We want to build things that the community has asked for and the restaurateurs have asked for, which is why we have built our ordering solution. So EatOkra makes between 13 to 30% commission from the restaurant, and about 10% and we take 10% from the customer per order, which means on a standard $34 order, and then you add taxes and service fees, at the end of the day, EatOkra would take home about $7 per transaction, which is less than a considerable percentage less than the current delivery apps like DoorDash or Seamless or Grubhub. Their commission fees are between 15 to 30, but unless you're really a very popular restaurant or a franchise, your commission is probably going to be somewhere around 25 to 27% or higher, depending on how you entered into the ecosystem. And then we also plan on continuing to add new brand partnerships, like a financial partner or travel partner, or consulting partner. So, as I said, we have a clear path of growth through online ordering. We do understand brand partnerships is what's been paying our bills for the last 2 years. But we see online ordering scaling with our go-to-market strategy, beginning in Brooklyn, expanding out into the five boroughs, and then expanding to Atlanta, DC, Chicago, LA, and Houston. Our goal is to have about 600 restaurants signed up on EatOkra within the first year, right? The first 12 months of EatOkra post closing our round. And our ways to get there are we really, first we'll definitely start spending money on advertising. We'll work with partners to continue to amplify EatOkra. We already get about 500,000 to 1 billion impressions through our partnerships. We will do some live and local activations with the restaurants and be present at events. Loyalty and rewards is going to be really important for us with additional brands. But we see this as a space that we can own for EatOkra. So we're raising $1.8 million pre-seed round to supercharge our growth. And in 18 months, we're going to scale our restaurants to 6 markets. We are also going to grow our app installs to 1.5 million app installs. Currently, we have 10,000 monthly active users. We want to scale that to 30,000 monthly active users, where our goals have a percentage of those people actually making the orders. Yeah, so the press has loved us over the last few years. Hopefully you've seen us. We were on the BET Awards most recently. Actually, March 20th, EatOkra has been invited to participate in a New York City campaign. I can't say the name as it's still kind of confidential, but I'll be standing alongside the mayor on this campaign with a few other doers in New York City. So super excited for all the press we've been getting. That's going to enable us to get the word out that EatOkra is a delivery platform. We are doing this work to support Black-owned restaurants. When I say restaurants, that's bringing, I'm assuming everybody, all the other folks in that space too, the food truck makers, the online orderers, the chefs, caterers, meal prep. So even the numbers I gave you don't even consider those folks as well. So there's a lot of opportunity for EatOkra to really touch a lot of people and then bring a lot of revenue back to us as well. So thank you.
Wonderful. Oh, and what a beautiful family.
Yes, we actually, I didn't talk about this, but we were the recipient of an App Store Developer Award. They give out 15 of those a year, and we got it last year, 2021, for Connection.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's absolutely wonderful. I love how, your wife initiated this, right? By saying, build an app so we can, have some cool places to eat and easily find them. And you did just that and solved such a big problem for more than just your family. And so I love that you are getting the warm welcome that you deserve with this, and that, you're getting the exposure. If you guys have questions for Anthony, you can stop sharing your screen so we can get bigger on the screen. Okay. And now's the time when we will answer the community's questions. Go ahead and put that in the Q&A section. I see in the chat, several people have said that they use the app, and that's really good. I think Edward said earlier, thanking you for your service and protecting us. So I concur with that. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
So as the community is going to put their questions in, I've got a couple. So other than becoming a delivery platform, what other things do you have planned for the future of EatOkra?
That is a great question. So yeah, I see EatOkra as really playing in the food and beverage space. We don't need to go outside of this space. There's opportunity for EatOkra to own e-commerce. We can be the Walmart of product, right, that are made from Black makers. So yeah, we plan to sell coffee, tea, spices, rubs, all those shelf-stable items to start. Can we do cookbooks or other spatulas and utensils that are, that are in that food ecosystem? We see an opportunity to partner or build a ticketing solution. So we want to be a source for understanding like what's going on in the community, what events are happening. So all those events like private dinners or private public dinners, brunch parties, sip and paints, food festivals, things like that. Can you purchase a ticket on EatOkra? We see that being a very, and we kind of do that now. I don't know if you've been using the app, but if you're in New York frequently or at other big cities, we typically try to post events that we know are happening, like Restaurant Week or something like that, where people can click a button to learn more about it or go to their page and make a purchase. So I'm all about keeping things in-house. So I want to make sure EatOkra is owning the full experience.
Very good. I was going to just say, we've got some connections to make, because as you talk about kind of moving this into the e-commerce space, we've got a lot of Black founders coming through the 10K project. You say coffee, I think Creeby Coffee. You say spatulas, I think Robin Wilson Home Design. So
Exactly.
we've got some of those Black founders that have come through here, and I'd love to make some of those connections with you.
Absolutely. And we want to make sure we are telling the stories, we're celebrating wins, letting the folks know and understand like the restaurants why, or the struggles or, hardships they've had and overcome, and really make sure that we tell their authentic story and, the taste and the flavor, and really celebrate that across the diaspora. And we have an opportunity to really like do that within the app as well, but we want to make sure that all the content we put out really pushes towards a purchasing decision or a travel decision, right? So we want to make sure that, we're talking a story about the spatula, like we tell her story, and at the end it's like, here, make this purchase. So that's kind of like how we think about, a few different avenues. We also are thinking about ways to make our clients, like the Pepsis, the Deloittes, the Apples, how do we make them clients? How do we use the data that we're collecting to, in a safe way, inform as well? But, we want to get that advertising revenue as well. Very
nice. John says, provide a curated list of restaurants in a city for visitors. So John, so let's talk through that. So if I'm going to, let's say Detroit, right? I'm going to Detroit for the week, be able to have EatOkra, or like instead of me searching for places to eat, have EatOkra be able to present me an already curated list of maybe their 5-star rated places. Is that, yeah, John said exactly. I love that idea.
So I'm almost ahead of you, John, but in EatOkra, we do have a huge social component in EatOkra right now. So right now you can create your own guides in the app, and then you can also share them and people can follow your guide as well. So if you're traveling to another city right now currently, and you have a friend that's there, they can build you a list, and you can use that list while you're traveling. One thing we will add soon is we'll just start sharing those public lists in our feed on the homepage, so that it's really important that we provide a dynamic experience per city. Each city has its own thing that makes it tick. It's known for. We can't be everywhere at once. So we want to make sure we are working with the local foodies, the local know-it-all, the local organizers, to make sure that we are putting like really authentic content out there, while they will create guide or make suggestions about what's going on. And then also we'll pull from the community, those that have strong lists, followed lists, we would feature those or place those higher on our priority list to, be seen and used, and then give you the opportunity to kind of like follow somebody, you know what I mean?
Very good. John said, I'm in. He said, love it. I'm in. Invest in now.
Perfect.
Wonderful. So let's talk a little bit about the exit strategy. Do you see EatOkra being a family business for the next 50 years, or is there an opportunity to sell? What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I don't think this world, our country, needs another family business. We need a company that's going to exit, and we, and that's investable, venture investable. So we want to see EatOkra get bought out at some point for sure. We want, we definitely want to see it get bought out. So that answers your question.
Yeah. Good. What are, or who are some of the players that you could see potentially buying you out?
Yeah, definitely like private equity. or restaurant groups. There's a few large Black-owned restaurant groups out there that are potentials that could be out there. Even our partnerships, current partnerships we have might have an interest as well. Or, individuals with ginormous amounts of money, like what's the guy about the Weather Channel?
Oh goodness.
Byron Allen.
Yes,
Yeah,
Byron Allen. Yes, yes. I'm like, wait a minute. I just read an article about him possibly buying BET. Yeah.
yeah, yep.
Very, very good. Okay. We've got a couple of questions. Guys, don't forget to put your questions in the Q&A. So Latrice says, so do you make money off of delivered orders from the customers, or will it be a subscription service?
We make revenue per transaction from both the customer and the restaurateur. So we kind of pull from both we pull from both to make one standard commission or one fee that we get. And in that fee, we kind of also pay for a portion of the delivery fee, and we pay for some of the taxes that the restaurant has to pay.
Very good. And Bernard says, my problem with most apps is once you sign up, they send nonstop ads and it kills my battery. What is your app doing to control ad madness?
But we don't have enough money to shoot you with 1,000 ads. So I guarantee our ads will be very few and in between compared to the others. But yeah, we definitely want to be mindful of, just the experience. I'm very big on experience. I want to make sure you're only getting ads when it's timely for you, or when certain metrics are hit or milestones are hit that, it's now time to ping you to like come back or something like that. But our goal is not to bombard you. And then we also have built in now with our push notifications, we allow you to kind of toggle off which channels of push notifications will target you at, or do you want a push notification? Do you want an email? Or do you want a text message? So we'll definitely make sure that we're putting in those kind of like preferences that you're able to kind of choose how much you want to get targeted or not.
Very good. You talked about the 60,000 restaurants, and you got 30 already on the platform. It made me think about some of my favorite restaurants are those hole in the wall restaurants, right? That we own. They've been in our communities for, 30, 40 years, and the food is still hitting on everything. Do you have restaurants like that on the app, or is there a certain criteria that a restaurant has to have? How do you decide what restaurant comes on?
Yeah, so our restaurants are, have been identified as being 51% owned or more. Like, so the owners of the company collectively make up 51% or own of the restaurant. We've been thinking about that term and that percentage because, a restaurant owner who owns 30% of the company might have went through a few rounds of dilution, but they own 8 restaurants and they are still the majority owner. So we don't want to exclude those folks being a part of the platform, because that would be kind of not, they still the owner, it didn't work. Like, we're punishing them for being successful essentially. So we want to make sure there's space for those folks too on EatOkra. Thinking about franchising, and that's still like tough to say depending on who you ask, it's who the owner is. So we still definitely want to poll the community and see how they feel about putting those restaurants on, but or franchises, because there's a lot of, I think there's something like 200 Chick-fil-A Black-owned restaurateurs. So
Well, hold on, let's put a pin there for a minute. So am I hearing you say that, using the Chick-fil-A example, you would only have the Chick-fil-A's that have Black ownership on the app?
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
All right. John says, what is a Form C disclosure? Oh, so John, I can talk to you about what the Form C is. So the Form C is the document that all founders file with the SEC. That essentially gives them the authorization to sell their securities, right? So, i.e. the equity. And so, Anthony, when will you file, or have you already filed your Form C?
Yeah, so right now we are in the midst of closing our lead developer, which is our lead investor, which is going to allow us to officially file the Form C. So within the next week, we'll have our Form C filed.
Very good. Great question, John. And once that is filed, just for the community, I recommend you look through that document. That's part of your due diligence document. For those of you who have been around, you may remember we did a session on how to interpret the Form C, because that is a big part of your due diligence. So when that's filed, definitely take a look at that. Patrice says, how often do you update or verify your info? She says, I downloaded the app and searched LA. I noticed 2 businesses with outdated info. One closed and the other moved.
Yeah, that's the trouble, for any platform. But we have a team that we pay, every month. It's a team of about 4 or 5 people to continuously just go through our directory list and make phone calls to restaurants, asking them to verify, making sure that they're still open, same address. So we are making updates every day, and we are adding new restaurants every day too. So we've added probably 1,000 new restaurants this year alone already. But yes, that's, definitely funding will help us get a better, making sure our data is very accurate, quicker.
Nice. How does the app interact with the food trucks? I'm thinking about how, the food trucks in my city, they're not always in the same location, right? So how does that work on the app?
Yeah, so during COVID, I took a heavy thought about that. So what I did was I built a solution for that. So basically, when a food truck will sign on to EatOkra, they can basically give me your plan for the month or whatever 6th month, and you can actually make a schedule like you would a Google event or something like that, Google Calendar event, and basically enter the information, give us the location, and we take that and kind of let you know within your searching, is that restaurant here now or will it be somewhere else later? And we kind of just we just build it into our algorithm and how we present the data based off of where that restaurant is for the day, or where that food truck is today or tomorrow. And then when you actually visit the profile, you can see the full 7-day schedule ahead as well, where the restaurant will be. So address and time and location.
Okay, very nice. Okay, that's good. I was, it's so funny. I had this thought because I'm not the tech person, right? But I tend to think really, really big without even knowing if things are possible. And my mind just went to the way the Apple AirTags work. Like, could there be like some level of like LoJack on the food truck that actually gives me the GPS coordinates, because the schedule could change, right? Like I thought I was going to be in third in Maine, and then I decided to go somewhere else. But if somehow you had like a GPS tracker on them, then you always know where they are.
That's an excellent solution. Because it's very, it's a very hands-on solution. It works best when the restaurant can go on the app and enter like a month's data at a time. So we're working on basically an import. You enter a standard like Google Excel sheet of data, and then we can ingest it, create everything for you. So it's simple and done. But that typically becomes like the issue.
When you figure out how to make my solution work, I just need a shout out. I don't need revenue. I don't need extra equity. I just need a shout out.
Gotcha.
Shout the 10K project out, place a free ad for something like that. Any other questions for Anthony?
I will add though that restaurants want to get paid, so they're not going to mess up the deliveries. So they'll probably keep everything up to date.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. John said, is there a loyalty program?
Yeah, so the software, so for our online ordering solution, we partnered with a company called Incentivio, and they are integration partners. So they allow us to essentially do all the things with when it comes to payment and building a menu and doing all the ordering. So with them, we have the ability to one, create the order. We can do offers and promotions. We can do gift cards, and we can also do loyalty. We'll also do some machine learning. We'll also have capability for machine learning to like offer items at checkout that complement, what you ordered, and do different things like that. So yes, loyalty isn't something we've actually like tackled now. It's something that's coming in the future. But it's definitely in our roadmap, and we have the software. We just gotta touch it. Right, upsell and cross sell, exactly. I did want to add one thing about that. Maybe it'll come back to me in a second, I guess.
So when I think about the capital raise process, is this, so you started with a rewards-based campaign, right? And you raised some funds that way. And now you're doing an equity campaign. Is there a plan to do a second and third round, to go, Reg A, Reg D? Like, can you speak a little bit about some of those goals that you have?
Yeah, we definitely want to continue to raise, do another seed or Series A. And that'll be to activate different things we kind of talked about earlier and expand. Our goal is to definitely bring this, as we mature here in the United States, we want to bring this globally as well. They've been writing us and asking about it. So we definitely want to make sure what we build here is solid, that we can like start shipping it to different countries. For sure. We definitely see ourselves continuing to raise.
Now that excites me as a potential investor, 'cause I travel a lot, and that would be awesome to have a directory of Black-owned restaurants when I travel, especially in countries that are not, when you go to places like Ghana, there's a bunch of Black-owned restaurants, but when you don't go to places where we typically, where we have a very large visual presence, it is difficult to find us there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love that idea. Very good. Chandra says, will there be a future collaboration with Dashable? So we saw that Dashable was on your advisory board. So we've got a wonderful, wonderful story. Dashable was our very first Bet on Black pitch in March of 2001. And so they are part of our journey and our story. And so it's always wonderful to see when people that, we have a connection to are doing awesome things with other companies as well. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Marvin is my guy. I just came back from a ski trip with him a few weeks ago. He's crazy on the slopes. I can't keep up. He left me. Long story short. But yes, we actually have built an integration together. So restaurants that are both are matching on our platforms, we bring in the deals from his service and present it on our app.
Nice, very nice. And for anyone in the participants with us this evening, and you may have joined us after the Dashable raise, Marvin and Tony have an app that is very much like, think about Groupon. Think about how Groupon works is the best way that I can describe it, but owned by us and better. Like, so, but that's his solution. So that's a great collaboration. Very good. Latrice says, can you still look up restaurants even if you actually want to eat at the restaurant and not necessarily have food delivered?
Yeah, that's our main business, that we've been doing, which has been the directory. So now if you download the app, and even when you will visit the app through our ordering like funnel, there's still an option for you to like learn more, see the details, where you can get the address location. You can see a little bit more about the reviews, the breakdown of the reviews. any pictures that's been added. So yes, you can definitely still use the app to, visit. We 100% still want people putting their butts in the seats at these restaurateurs and really just building the community there, learning what's going on, and just fellowshipping.
Very good. Very good. Any other questions? I'm just going to say again, Anthony, I know I told you this when we spoke the first time, but to see the progress that you guys have made as a team is absolutely brilliant to see. And to see how well thought through you have what the future is going to look like as well. As an investor, you want to hear that when a founder presents something to you. You want to hear that they've thought about all the other ways to raise revenue and to be self-sufficient. I love that you're not relying on the brand, sponsors that you have, because that's so easy to get comfortable with too. So just congratulations on all of your success thus far. Just amazing to see, really, really is.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we built a lot with a little, and with capital, we're ready to scale to new products and offerings and really accelerate our effort to capture a greater market share.
Yeah, very good. Any other questions for Anthony before we give our final call to actions? Well, I'll start, and if someone else puts a question in, and we'll jump back to it. To the community, and for anyone who's going to watch this replay, first of all, thank you for being a part of the 10K project, because I think the work that we're doing here is necessary, because there are a million founders like Anthony and his wife, and they're looking to get to the next level of greatness. They have amazing ideas and they're solving problems, real problems, right? Because I'm telling you, when I'm hungry and I had a taste for something, it ain't pretty if I can't get it, right? So it ain't pretty at all. I had an issue this morning where I wanted something and it was closed, and it was just kind of like, So this is something really, really important. And the way that we want to support the community, oftentimes we don't have the tools that allow us to do that. You have built the tool, right? We're on this buy Black, invest Black, eat Black, patronize Black. You're making it easy for us to do that so that we can stimulate our economy, which ultimately stimulates the entire economy. And so this is absolutely necessary. And so, you've done your part, and now our part is to support you and to stand in the gap and help you, succeed and push forward. And so that is why the 10K project exists, right? We're here solely to be able to help Black founders succeed. And in doing so, hopefully building some wealth of our own as a result of your successes. And so to the community, you know what you have to do, your due diligence first and foremost, right? Because we are healthy investors, right? First and foremost, before anything else. We're responsible investors. Anthony and his wife don't want no calls at 3 a.m. in the morning, talk about, can I get my $250 back? That's not how this works, right? So we want y'all to be responsible investors and do your due diligence. But what you've heard here this evening is in my opinion, and I'm nobody's financial advisor, but I got ears, and I heard a very well thought through model and plan for how Anthony and his team plan to move this business even more forward than they already have in a short amount of time. And so the call to action here is simple. Obviously, consider to invest, right? That's the ultimate goal. But I want to take it a step further. I want us to help Anthony get to that 1.5 million downloads, right? He's at 500K now. So I want us, when we're sharing this campaign link about the opportunity for equity to our family and friends, I also want to share the app link so that we can tell them, download it, start using it. We all need to have this downloaded. It's just really that simple. We all need to have it downloaded, right? I'm going to download it tonight because I'm going to download it on all the devices because that counts, right? Put it on the iPad, the phone. I'm going to do it on all the devices. So, so that, so those are the things that we need to do. but obviously share the heck out of this campaign link so that more people can see what Eat Okra is doing, what they have accomplished already, and what plans that they have for the future, because this is an amazing journey that they're on. And just even thinking about how in a few years that, the possibility of being in that e-commerce space and this becoming, all things Black owned from a food and restaurant kind of
I'm excited.
standpoint, that is super exciting to hear. And so, we know the assignment, we understand the assignment. Let's do what we know how to do here at the 10K Project. Anthony, any final comments or your own call to actions?
Yeah, definitely, do your due diligence. Ask me any questions. I'm happy to answer anything via email or take an individual call if we need to as well. I'll leave my information with Tawana, and she can reciprocate that to you. But yeah, thank you so much for taking this time and really staying. Your group really spent the entire time from 8 to 9, which is super impressive on an evening night. But thank you really for taking the time. Do your due diligence. I would love your investment. I would love for you to share Eat Okra. We are, we've done a lot with a little since 2016, working 30 hours on top of my day job a week to really build this thing to as the main developer, to really get it to 500,000 app installs. Like companies with millions of dollars don't even get that, but we've got that with almost no money. So, that's a nod to the potential of what we've built. And with a little bit of funding, we were able to really see that number grow exponentially. And yeah, I'm very happy, and I'm still it's all been happening so fast that I really haven't had a chance to really let that settle. But what we've been doing is kind of unheard of. But this still is supporting Black people and Black businesses, and we still are underfunded across the board, period. I think our numbers are down by a considerable percent from last year even. So again, thank you so much. Please, ask me anything. I'm happy to further clarify anything. But just thank you for your time.
Well, Anthony, thank you very much. And we are very proud of you. This community stands beside you and behind you, and you have our support. And so thank you guys so much. And please tell your wife thank you as well, because we know without her, this wouldn't even be a thing. So in probably more ways than I will ever know. So tell her thank you as well for us.
Will do.
Okay. Have a wonderful evening.
All right, you too. Have a good one, everybody.
Have a good night.